All right, so again, thank you for joining us. I'm Adriana Kelly. I'm one of the academic advisors for the online MSW, and I'm joined by my co-advisor.
Hi, everybody. I'm Minoska Hernandez. It's good to recognize some of your names.
So we are offering the military certificate online for the first time starting in the spring. So we've put together a presentation to give you some background into what it means to work in military social work and what our certificate offers. But bear with us. It's our first time offering the certificate. It's our first time doing this information session. So there may be questions we don't have answers to yet, but we will definitely assist you as much as we can. And if we can't find the answer in the session, we'll get it for you afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
And we have Lana here as well,
I'm sorry,
who's our
Lana, would you
admission
like to
specialist.
introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. So I'm the admission specialist for both the online and campus-based. I will be the one who you would reach out if you're planning to apply for the military certificate. You will learn more about like the requirements today, but then if you have specific questions about the application, you can reach out to me.
Thank you. All right, can everybody see my screen? All right, perfect. So this is the info session for the military social work certificate. I've included a link down here where you can, after the session, I'll send this out and you can go see much more detailed information than we'll present here. But we're just going to give you a general overview of what is military social work, some information about the certificate, what our graduates have gone on to do, what courses you'll take in the military certificate, how that works with your plan of study, application requirements, important things to remember, and then we'll have some time for question and answer at the end. So to begin with, what is military social work? So we are guiding students to provide support to veterans, active duty service members, their families, in various areas. So sometimes people ask, like, what is social work? How is it different from counseling, or how does it work? And you are all currently students in the social work program, so you're learning what it means to be social workers. But here are a few areas in which we find military social work. So there's definitely direct therapy, individual, group, and family therapy, but it's also about, you can go into case management and support, help military veterans transferring from active duty into veteran life, how to work with families, crisis intervention. There's also advocacy and education. So you can go into policy development. You can do research on current trends in social work for military active duty veterans and their families, or training and education in military social work.
So these are just some things that will help you prepare for, or what the military certificate will prepare you for. As Adriana was saying earlier, a big proponent is mental health counseling. So this program or the certificate is aimed at building psychological resilience, treating post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety for military veterans specifically, suicide risk assessment, prevention techniques, and a big proponent is family therapy. So you're not only just working with the veterans themselves, but also with their family members. A lot of people treat military spouses. So that's a big thing that you'll be prepared for and dealing with if you decide that you want to go into this field. And if you're thinking, hey, I'm not really interested in this, or maybe you're on the fence, you're not sure if this is something that you want to pursue, don't worry, you're not the only one. This is a former student we had who was in that place as well. And now she's very happy with deciding to complete the certificate. So we're going to hear a little bit from her now. I don't think the sound's working.
Oh, okay, good to know. Thank you. It might be on my end, but not here. Let me
Oh.
just get out really quickly and I'll make sure that you guys can hear the sound. That's kind of important, even though it does have captions. Bear with me 1 second. There's that little box you have to check that says share sound. Okay, we'll try that again.
My name's Chandler Thompson.
There we go.
I decided to go through the military social work certificate because I thought it was so important to best know how to serve military members and their families. So I don't have any military members in my immediate family. I'm not close with any, so I thought if someone walked into my office who had served or is a family member of, I would not know how to best serve them. It's a whole different culture in the military lifestyle, and as a clinician, I need to know how to best serve them. So it was an interesting decision for me because at first I thought, my heart's not fully in it, but then I thought, it should be. Why is it not? They work their entire lives to keep us safe, and so I want to be able to do my part and help them, and it was the best decision I've ever made. We had 3 classes. We all got so close as a class because we all had the 3 classes together. Dr. Wetwether is the most amazing professor, and now I have military members in my office coming to me for therapy with their families, and I would say I definitely know how to best serve them, and I'm a confident clinician because of this program.
Okay, awesome. So she's really great and she's doing wonderful things. We always hear about her from Jim Whitworth, one of our professors who's teaching these courses. But here are some other examples of what other graduates are doing after graduating with the certificate. So some people, as you can see, the majority of them are LCSWs, but we have an MSW who's working at the Orlando VA Hospital as a medical social worker. We have 2 working for the government, one with the Department of Defense, another one with the Department of Veteran Affairs. One works with UCF Restores, which is really cool as a mental health clinician. And then we have a Root Step Wellness Program private practice clinician with us. So if you're not interested in getting your clinical licensure, that's okay. You could still be an MSW and treat military members and their families. It just depends on what area you're going into. But just know that your options are open even with the certificate. You have a lot of areas that you can go on into and a lot of people that you can help.
So as mentioned in the video, there are 3 courses that comprise the certificate. They will be 7 weeks long online, just like your traditional classes throughout the program. And these are the 3 courses that you'll take. Some of you may have already taken 1 or 2 of these in your time in the program, depending on when you began, as we've offered a few of them as electives. Likely you have not taken all 3, but these are just the course descriptions for those 3 classes that you will be taking if you decide to pursue the certificate. As a part-time track student, this is what your plan of study would look like if you started as soon as you got into the program or within the first year of the program. So every student has to take 3 electives. Every part-time student, let me clarify, has to take 3 electives. This is where the 3 electives would fit into your plan of study. So there's 1 in the first year, 1 in the second year, and 1 in your final clinical year. If you have already been in the program for some time and you've taken an elective, so for example, if in your first year you took clinical practice with military veterans, families, and groups in your first elective option, yours is going to look a little bit different. If you are somebody who is in your final year of the program and you haven't taken any of these electives, we can still get you into the certificate. We're just going to have to adjust your plan of study accordingly. If you're an advanced standing student, you are eligible to enroll in the certificate program, but you will have to take an additional elective than is required for your MSW. So typically students in the advanced standing track only do 32 credit hours. You would have to do 35 credit hours in order to complete the certificate. This will mean extending your time in the program. So that's either by 1 additional semester or more than that if you haven't taken these electives yet. I will say that everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. Unless you are in the first or second semester of the program, then yours will look very similar to this. So we would encourage anybody who's interested in the certificate and maybe has already some other electives under their belt to make an appointment with myself and Minoska so we can discuss how the certificate would work specifically in your plan. So for application requirements, it's a lot less complicated than the online MSW application that you completed to get into the program, but you do still have to submit an application. So it's the same system that you used when you applied for the MSW. The requirements are that you are a current MSW student, which you all should be if you're here. And then the requirements are a personal statement, which is a 2-page personal statement answering the following questions. So what are the reasons you decided to apply for the certificate, and why is working with this population of interest to you? So within the personal statement, you want to be sure to address these 2 items. Then you also need to submit an up-to-date resume. And something that I think students forget is that the work that you're doing at your field placement now, if you are currently in a placement, that's good to include on your resume. So an up-to-date resume and a personal statement are the 2 requirements that you need in order to apply for this certificate. I've listed the application deadlines at the bottom. So spring 2025, that's our first time offering it. So that application will be due December 1st. So if you are already a student here, we already have your transcripts on file. So you won't need to resubmit those, but you will have to pay the application fee, which I think is $31. I forget, but maybe Lana or Minoska can correct me if I'm wrong. So you will have to pay the fee and submit an application. So some important things to remember is, like I said, it requires an application. So you must submit the application. Additionally, admission's not guaranteed just because you're an MSW student. So you want to make sure that you put effort into that 2-page personal statement. We really want to know what you are hoping to do, why you're interested in the certificate. So keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, Lana is going to be a great person to help for assistance with the application. And you can email mswadmissions@ucf.edu for any questions you have with the application or just learning about the certificate. So as we mentioned, the military electives that you'll take, there are 3 courses. Each of them are 3 credit hours for a total of 9 credit hours. If you are in the MSW, the 3-year track, they will count as your 3 required electives. If you are in the advanced standing track, 2 of them will count as your required electives, and then you will have to take an additional elective. Keep in mind that not all 3 courses are offered every semester right now. So if you do take a break in your enrollment, if you take time off for whatever reason, there may be delays to you getting all 3 electives. So that's something that we'll have to work on one-on-one as an advisor and student. So if if you find yourself needing to take a break for medical reasons or, you just need a break, we'll see how we can work it out and keep you on track with the certificate, but it may lead to a delay. You might not have a class to take in a certain semester and you have to wait to take it in the future. So keep that in mind. The cost will be the same as your other courses in the online MSW. So it's $487.45 per credit hour. And finally, if you are about to graduate or you are wondering if you can come back and do this after you've graduated, it's not currently available to our alumni. We are really hoping that we can make that an opportunity in the future, but it just hasn't worked out yet to make that the case. So you have to apply for the certificate while you are an active student in the online MSW. So if you are graduating this fall, it's not going to be available to you. If you are graduating in the spring, we can still make it work. So reach out to Minoska and myself and we can help you through it. Also, if you are graduating this fall and I just said that you're not eligible, still reach out to me because we can have a conversation about how we might be able to make things work. So now I'm gonna stop the presentation and I know we hit you with a lot of info. Please feel free to ask any questions you might have, unmute yourself or type it in the chat, and we will address it as best we can.
I have a question.
Yes, Hazel.
If I'm in my first year
Okay.
of the online program, so I just finished, about to finish, I'm in semester 4.
Okay.
So should I consider applying now or should I wait till the end of this year? Like when I'm a little bit closer to graduating, what would you recommend?
I recommend doing it as soon as possible. I think it's if you know that this is what you want to do, I think it's best to do it as soon as possible so we can make sure to lock in those classes that you need for the certificate so you know what you'll be doing for the rest of your time in the program. So it's just easier for record keeping, making sure that we have the classes that you need available when you need them. So in my opinion, earlier is better.
Okay. And with when you graduate, you get the you can test for the MSW.
I'm sorry, can you repeat
So
that? I missed a piece.
once you graduate and you can test for the MSW with that certificate that provides like job opportunities, I don't have to wait because I think it takes time to get the LCSW, if
Sure,
I'm
it
not
does take
mistaken.
time to get the LCSW because there are supervision requirements and certain hours that you need to complete after you're graduated. I will say that this certification does not immediately make you um, eligible for certain positions, but what it is it's like an extra sort of, you can say you've had extra education in this area. So sometimes if you are looking for work, they will host you and offer you supervision, excuse me, for your LCSW. But if you are saying you have a military certification, they might be more eager to take you than another applicant for a role because you do have this background. It won't make your time to licensure any quicker. It won't
Mm.
change that, but it might offer you more opportunities in the field after you graduate.
Okay, so really building that resume,
Yeah,
it like helps add a little bit, maybe something different that
exactly.
might help me stand out
Right.
compared
And
to
we
all. Okay.
and something aligned to that, somebody just asked in the chat is if you sign up for the certificate, is it likely that you will be placed with a military-based field placement? It's likely, I can't say it's guaranteed, but that's why sooner, the sooner you apply it, the better, because we can link you up with our field team early so that they can try to work on finding a field placement with this population when it's your time to go into either generalist or clinical placement. So we can't guarantee it, but they will really try if they know ahead of time that that's what you want to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Denisha, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I had a question. I know like Hazel, I think that's who just talked. We're in a 4th semester. I think those courses, those elective are already built into our curriculum. Is that
Mhm.
correct or is that incorrect? So we will not qualify for I guess the extra semester doesn't apply to us. You said that we
Right.
will have to stay.
Right.
Okay.
It wouldn't apply to you. Yeah. And so if you're early on in the program, if you're in that first year, the first few semesters, you have no academic classes to take during your clinical year in the 3-year part-time track. So a lot of times, if you need that additional elective, that's where we'll put it in that summer of your clinical
Okay.
year. So for anybody who's within their first year or two, it's easy for us to plug it in there. So that would not be an issue.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And I think I missed it. Where does that, oh, you said go on and apply through
Yes. Yep.
admissions.
Yeah. And I'll send the link in an email so you can click right to there to see the application.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And Adriana, it seems like there is a question in the chat, similar to what you answered already. She's asking if you sign up for the certificate, is it likely that you will be placed with the military-based field placement?
Yeah. So it's not guaranteed, but it's possible. So that's what I was saying. So the earlier they apply, then we can link them up with a field team so that we can start working on a possible military placement or something military adjacent, working with some sort of population, if that's your area of interest. Can we take the certificate electives in addition to other electives? You can if you are willing to stay a little bit longer and pay more than you would for the traditional number of credit hours you signed up for. So as long as you apply while you're an active student, we're happy to keep you taking electives after that time for the military certificate if you've already exhausted the other options, for example. Catherine asked, so advanced standing students will have to add an extra semester? Yes. There's no way around that one because your advanced standing students have a packed schedule for the 4 semesters they're in the program. So there isn't a place to add an additional elective. So even in our campus-based program, the students have to add an additional semester if they want to do the military certificate.
I have a question.
Sure.
Where can I go to confirm like what classes electives I'm signed up for?
Sure. So if you go to My UCF and you click in your student center, you're going to click on graduate plan of study, and it's going to take you to a place where you see a few options, but that's what you want to see. You want to see your graduate plan of study. In there, you can see all of the classes that you've taken, and it will also show you the classes of electives that might be an option for you later on. So you can go there and see what you've already taken, see what is available for you to take moving forward. And if you have any questions specifically, like if you're not really sure what you're reading, because sometimes it looks a little tricky, feel free to send us an email or give us a call, and we would be happy to help you navigate that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Gabriella,
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No worries. I'm going to address Gabriella's in the chat real quick, and then I'll get right to you, Linda.
Okay, thank
Should
you.
we contact one of you before we apply for the certificate? I would really encourage you to. It's not going to be possible for everyone, and I would love to give you the details of how it would work for your particular situation before you spend that $31 to apply. So definitely reach out. We can set up an appointment. We can set up a phone call, whatever you'd like, to talk about how that would work for you. And Linda, how can we help you?
That might have answered it because I just had questions. I'm in my last year, so
Okay.
I know I've already done 2 electives. The first one I did take was the military one that they offered. But I believe I only have 1 elective left.
Okay.
So my question is, because in the last year, like I want to say the last 2 semesters, we don't really have any classes. It's just our internship. Would you be able to plug a class in there, or would it still extend it out another semester?
It's very possible that we would be able to put it in there where you don't have any academic classes. What we would
Okay.
need to see is when you'd be taking just internship, and then if we're offering the elective that you need during that time. But that's why it's good to just reach out as soon as you think you're interested in. So we have a list of students who might need to take a class in a particular semester, so we can make sure to offer it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And I saw there were a few people who joined us after we did our initial presentation. So I just want to reiterate that we will be sending out the presentation. We will be sending out the recording to this session. And if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to send us an email. I'll include Lana's contact information as well as mine and Minoska's. So you can set up a time to speak with us to clarify anything further or to talk about how this would fit in your plan of study. Let's see, Mackenzie, should we still contact prior to applying if we are in our first year? I haven't taken any electives yet, so I think yeah. Mackenzie, I think it's still a good idea to just send an email so that we have an idea of people who are applying to the certificate. If you're interested in applying to it, it just allows us to plan a little better for the future semesters, future schedules, if you let us know that you're interested in it. You're not required to do this. If you submit an application for the military social work certificate, you take your first class and you're like, nope, not for me. We still will have other electives for you to take and graduate. So please know that you're able to change your mind. But it's difficult if you're on your final semester of the program and you change your mind and you think, oh, now I want to do the military social work certificate. We can make it work probably, but it's going to require extra time. So yes, Mackenzie, I think you should still reach out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When I first applied for the military social work, I know we didn't get the offer the certificate, but we would get like a completion, like we still
Yeah.
completed.
Yes. So I think we called it an emphasis.
Okay.
So if you selected that already, you're basically on the same track for the military certificate. So yours will be even simpler because your plan of study looks like that. It already looks like what I showed in the presentation earlier. So if you selected the military emphasis when you came in, and I believe that we only offered that to the fall 2023 cohort. If you did that, that's excellent. You still have to submit your application to the certificate program, but we've already built in those classes in your plan of study and they will be offered when you need them.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. Yeah, we were testing it out to see how we could roll out the certificate to everybody. So I'm glad to say that the students who chose that option in fall 2023, it should be a very seamless transition into the certificate. And I didn't include it on the presentation, but I'll let you know. Dr. Jim Whitworth is sort of the faculty advisor for this certificate. He's retiring now very soon. So we didn't give his contact information. He's definitely somebody who might be teaching the classes that you take even after he retires, but reach out to us and we can get you the most up-to-date information right now. But you might hear him spoken about. You might have taken a class with him in other areas. So you might know him and he's wonderful and we're sorry to lose him, but he set up a great program and we're happy to keep it going. So we're happy to hang out for a few more minutes if you have any questions, but that's the end of our presentation. And as I said, we'll be able to get this out to you later today. And if you think of anything as soon as you exit this presentation, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email, and we would be happy to give you that info. Thank you so much for coming.